going to take this no contact period and invest into yourself. So whether she comes back around, comes to her senses and wants to revisit things, because let me tell you something. If you just spend your time social media stalking her, nervous, doing self-destructive things like going out and drinking, trying to fuck your pain away, having sex with a bunch of different women and drinking and drugs and, finding some rowdy crowd to go get involved in excitement. And if she comes back, you're not even going to be as good as a guy as you was when she left. You're going to be worse off. And the issues are still going to be there, and you're going to destroy the relationship all over again. You're going to be back at square one, and the second time hurts worse than the first time. So whether she comes back or not, what you want to do is move forward in life, a new and improved 2.0 version of yourself. And that way, when somebody does come along, it could be somebody better. And I've told many guys this, and nobody believes me in the beginning, but after you've done this work, you may not want her back. You very well may not. You're a changed person. What are the chances are, do you think the person does a dumping, they have this air of superiority now, like they find themselves to be the more attractive, and oh, he's chasing me, I must be special, I must be awesome, there must be nothing wrong with me. What are the chances you think the person doing a dumping is going to do work on themselves and reflect and do some deep reflection and introspection and deep inner work and looking at their traumas and their flaws and their character flaws and going to shore up anything mentally and emotionally that's unstable? It's very rare that happens. You might not even be a match for this person when they come back. You might get back with them and like, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, was this what it? I don't remember it being like this, but it's not the same. And you go find somebody better for you. But in any case, what you don't want to do, and I've seen this happen where the guy runs off, plays the victim. She's a whore. She's a bitch. She's a liar. Can't believe she did that. Hates the world. She comes back. He's so resentful and he's all bitter, resentful, has done zero work on himself. In a worse position, she immediately recognizes, yep, I was right. Leaves again. And this person won't even put himself out there to be open to a healthy, loving relationship again. Settles for somebody who he views less than him, so he doesn't have to worry about being hurt again. Get somebody who he believes is beneath him as a safe option, and settles for the rest of his life. I've seen that. I've seen that many times, more often than I've seen the guy who steps back and says, all right, I have work to do. It was something in this relationship that I contributed to not working. And look, I'm not letting the other person off the hook. A successful, healthy relationship takes two people, and it takes two people to keep that together, and it takes two people to end one to where it doesn't work out. But that's not the point. We can't worry about it. What they do now is none of our business. And if I had one guy come to me and said, I want my ex back, and another guy come back to me and said, I want to move on, we would do the exact same thing. So it's the same process either way. That's what you got to do. And that's your best chance. If you want an ex back, that's your best chance. Because it usually happens a few months down after you've done the work, you've completely left them alone. And I'm talking, not try to find reasons to bump into them accidentally. Find some reason, because what happens is in that space, your absence, at some point, the negativity begins to sink. This is called the faded effect bias. It's in our DNA as humans from our prehistoric days when we didn't have grocery stores and we didn't have buses and we didn't have builders and electricity. So anything you had to get, you had to go out, you had to hunt, you had to gather, you had to fight. It was tribal times. You had war, like real deal shit, where people would come take your village and kill everybody. You were in constant danger. It's evolutionary programming that allows us to still function and carry on with life despite suffering traumatic experiences. Like if Cave Joe and Cave DT went out on a hunting party, and I seen Cave DT get mauled by a saber-toothed tiger, and that's probably be pretty traumatic. Watching a wild animal tear my buddy from limb to limb and eat his face. So I go back to my cave and I'm so traumatized that I'm paralyzed with fear, never wanting to step foot out the cave again. Well, guess what? If I don't step out the cave, my family doesn't eat. And I get banned from the village because I'm not contributing and I'm a dead man. We don't have that option back then. So what it is the negative experience will subside. We're programmed to do this now, to forget about the negative and start remembering the positive. Well, I knew he got mauled by a tiger, but last time we came home with a whole mammoth and the whole village ate, Everybody cheered for us. We had delicious mammoth meat, and we fed the village for a week. Man, that felt good. Like, I love eating every night. My kids look healthy. So you start to forget. Just like if you get in a car accident or you get in a bicycle accident. You don't, at first, it could be traumatic, especially if you've ever been in a major car wreck. Like, that'll scare the fuck out of you. You might get a little nightmare or something. You might have some slight PTSD in the beginning, but eventually you drive again. And before you know it, you're driving 80 miles an hour again with one hand, texting while you're driving. You get forgotten all about the consequence, the bad stuff. So the same thing occurs in a breakup where this person, now you've had positive experience with this person. You've bonded, you've attached, you've shared great times, great memories. And over time, as the time and space gets longer and longer and the distance gets further and further, those negative experiences begin to dissolve. And it's then they start kind of starting to see you through rose colored glasses. Then they got to start to look at the relationship through these rose tinted glasses. So I remember, well, he was a great kisser. Man, the sex was good. And he had the cutest laugh. And he knew how to park and he could barbecue really good. And she starts thinking about all these positive qualities about you. Then they start to think, well, shit, I really liked him. I wonder if he's out there attracting other women. He must be, because I found him attractive. Wait a minute. Somebody going after my man. So this is when they come out of the relief phase. This is the curiosity phase. And they start getting curious. I wonder what he's up to. Not only have you gone off, done the work, and proven to them that you can live without them, you're demonstrating self-respect and strength. So if you were showing weakness in the relationship, which a lot of men do, it happens. You can't be, James Bond, Playboy pimp 1,000% of the time. That's just inconceivable for any human being who has any sort of life, where you're going to have to deal with shit because sometimes things get overwhelming. You don't handle it right. You get flustered. It's just, and you shouldn't be in a relationship that's expected of you to do that anyway. Be in a relationship with somebody who can understand and is well enough calibrated mentally and emotionally to understand life happens and not everybody can sustain top shelf fucking performance all the time. So what's happened is they start getting curious. I wonder if he's dating. I haven't heard from him. And he's maybe stronger than I thought. I do remember that one time he went through this thing and that was pretty sexy the way he handled that. So they start having these little peaks of curiosity. But that's not it. And this is why you stay away. And then they start thinking, well, they can really live without me. Maybe they're more valuable than I thought. Maybe they're worth more than I thought. Maybe I overreacted. Well, now that I look back at it, I probably could have done things different too. This is when they start playing back and you starting to gain a little strength and momentum back because you've been off doing work. You've been off improving yourself. It doesn't feel great, but it doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck how you feel? You've been putting the reps in and you don't see it yet, but you're improving. And you're not going to know until it's time. It's all theory until you put to the test. I tell people that all the time. All this work is theory until you put to the test. As far as the gym goes, 2-3 months down the line, somebody say, damn, you've been working out? That's it. There's your evidence. You're going to be in a situation and you walk away and realize, damn, I handled that pretty fucking good. Damn, that didn't even affect me. Evidence. Work is done. Work is being done, making progress. She's going to see that too. And there's just something in the ether, something in the universe that when you start to accept the fact that she's not coming back and you're okay, that's when they appear. Every time. I can't say every time. Sometimes exes don't come back. That's the ugly truth. But the whole purpose is no contact. If you keep contacting them, all you're doing is reminding them like, hey, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Take your time. I'm still thinking about you. That's not what you want. That's genuinely not what you want to do is have them feel secure. And they say, well, if I love her, don't you think she'd want to feel safe and secure? You tried to make her feel safe and secure. She rejected that. She wanted the breakup. This is not a game. It's not a manipulation. It's not a tool to manipulate, to coerce somebody like reverse psychology. They have this guy on the internet that says the only proven way to get your ex back is reverse psychology. Those are grifters. That's called manipulation. Do you want to have to manipulate somebody back into your life? No. If you do, call me because we got work to do.